It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Get ready for epic savings at Best Buy. Right now, you can save up to $700 on select Alienware and Dell gaming products. Perfect for leveling up your gaming experience. Plus, grab the latest Android Google Pixel at an unbeatable price. Don't miss these incredible deals. Shop now at bestbuy.com and upgrade your tech today.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level when we shut down to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
At Rolls Rolla, we don't just sell wallpaper, we create cohesive, cozy spaces. Our deep understanding of design means every pattern, color, and texture is carefully chosen to complement your home. Plus, we use advanced technology and water-based inks for vibrant, eco-friendly prints, ensuring a healthier environment. Visit rollsrolla.com to transform your space today. That's ROLLSROLLA.com today. At 25 Home, our ultimate goal is to provide you with a transformative experience, making each day feel like it has an extra hour. We believe your home is more than just a space, it's a sanctuary where comfort, relaxation, and happiness thrive. Discover the difference at 25 Home today. Shop now at 25home.com.
On black right now. There we are. The Pete Sousa Show presented by Slovacics is here on a Super Bowl Friday. That's right. We can say the word Super Bowl here because we're dying to draw enough attention to get shut down. It's Pete Sousa, Scotty Swingler, Zach Burke is here. And we're going to start today by mentioning a couple other sponsors. Of course, Slovacics, D1, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, which, by the way, the commercial I did for Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, I guess that's like out there now, which is like, that's one of the things, like they ask you to do it and then you do it and you kind of hope it'll never end up on the air. But now I'm on an injury, a personal injury lawyer commercial. Nobody else I would rather do it for than Daniel Stark. And it was easy because the story was true. So if you see that, check it out. One guy was like, hey man, I saw you acting now. I was like, no, I swear I'm not acting, dude. That's real. So we're happy to have you. We got my man Dave Steckel, ESPN college football analyst and also former pro football coach. He spent about a decade as the defensive coordinator for Gary Pinkel in Missouri. And I want to get his take. Steck will dive into this college football game. I mean, this Super Bowl and break it down. I'm hoping to keep him on the rails a little bit because he will go hardcore X and O, but that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. But I want to ask him about the Super Bowl to break it down. This is a guy who recruited Saquon and recruited Whitehall. He's got amazing history and he's a brilliant mind. So I want to talk to him about the game itself to break it down. And also I want to pick his brain about, some of the coaching hires, obviously Schottenheimer and the Cowboys. So we'll get to that with Dave Steckel. I want to talk Super Bowl now, but before we do that, we'll talk about the Hall of Fame overnight into today. The Football Hall of Fame was announced, and it was the smallest class since 2005. We voted on it here not too long ago, me, Zach, and Cam. Zach, Cam, and Scotty, I should say. I butchered that. I said it wrong twice already. But here's who got in. Antonio Gates. What was he, like an 8-time Pro Bowler? Yeah. Eric Allen, Jared Allen, and Sterling Sharp. Sterling Sharp got in with the Veterans Committee. It's the smallest class since 2005. And in 2005, that class was Dan Marino, Steve Young, Fritz Pollard, and Benny Friedman. Here's who did not get in, and a couple people who we figured would have no problem. Adam Vinatieri did not get in. I think that's just kicker prejudice, but he did not get in. Luke Kuechly did not get in. Scotty's pissed about that. Eli Manning did not get in either, nor did Steve Smith. Steve Smith isn't even on the list of people who ESPN says got snubbed. So I have a little bit of skin in the game with this one, especially as we're on the eve of a Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl. So this morning I was waking up and getting ready for the show and checking out and seeing who made the Hall of Fame. And I saw a highlight come up of Eric Allen. And truly, I don't believe people remember how good Eric Allen was. It's one of those situations, like if he was still – he was on TV doing analysis for ESPN. I'm not quite sure what he's up to today. But if he had stayed in mainstream media, I think we probably would almost have a better idea of him and his play because you'd see more highlights and stuff, or it would be kind of more top of mind. But he's kind of lived a quiet life outside of doing some analysis for ESPN, and I don't know that his prolific career is top of mind like it should be. And so here's a highlight from Eric Allen. And I want to advise you, this was not like a one and done deal. Eric Allen did this with some frequency. Plays like this. Check this out.
I've seen a lot more than that.
No, I've never seen it where it goes all the way down.
The science and fake is a good one. His pass is not. It's picked off by Eric Allen. Allen still spinning, still finding room, and Allen comes out of the pack. Eric Allen still on his feet. Eric Allen at the 40. Allen is going to go all the way. Eric Allen steps into the end zone, and the Eagles are ahead from 94 yards away.
They're taking it to the house. That was an unbelievable play.
Unbelievable run. Look who's in the dugout, in the tunnel. Randall Cunningham. That leads to the dressing rooms. And he needs whatever they can give him right now.
I'll tell you, that's the most well-deserved oxygen I've ever seen. That is one of the greatest plays that I've ever seen in this league.
Me too.
Not only intercept.
How about Pat Summerall towards the end of his career? Kind of like still being amazing, but also being old and human. I mean, that's just that's it right there. That's the pinnacle of sports broadcasting. Madden, Summerall, a Sunday afternoon game like that. And this is for me personally, the broadcast team, I think we can all agree on, but an outcome like that. Eric Allen, by the way, 8 career pick sixes, an NFL record. So it's not like that was something that you saw it was every so often, which is way more than anybody else. I think Sterling Sharp getting in was pretty cool. Sterling Sharp was an amazing player. The problem was he was on a lot of bad teams playing for the Packers. He was a huge part of Brett Favre's early success in Green Bay. And that's another guy who he was on NFL Countdown for a while too, if you remember. But that's another guy who it's really cool to see get in there. Swingler, let's bring you in because I know you're pissed, and nothing wrong with a little bit of passion here. What was your biggest snub?
So I want to make something clear. You've seen me get pissed in the last couple of weeks. I'm not pissed. I'm not pissed about this. I think for me,
Scotty, I would say you were a little surprised / pissed when this came out.
Okay,
You screamed, "Didn't we all have Steve Smith and Vinatieri walking in?" That's what you said.
Vinatieri is a snub, and he will get in.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't understand. It happens more in baseball than football. I don't understand well, he's a Hall of Famer, but not a first ballot guy. I hate that logic. If they're a Hall of Famer, they're a Hall of Famer. Like, that's my opinion. I think Kuechly's a surprise. I think he will get in down the road too. I said before we came on, the biggest snub continues to be Darren Woodson. It's mind-boggling to me how good he was, how many plays he made, how long he played at a high level, that he's still not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And I am a Cowboys fan, so I'm
No,
biased.
that's fair.
But like Darren Woodson, I'm glad Sterling Sharp got in. You know, that's a guy that.
Why is Woodson not in, you think?
I don't know. I literally don't have a logical or rational explanation for it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think he might. I don't know. I mean, because here's what the situation speaks to. I mean, it's the smallest class since 2005, so it's not like there wasn't room or you felt, I or people are like, or everyone's getting in this particular class. So I don't have an answer for you. Yeah.
Oh well.
Maybe we'll ask Dave Steckel if we remember. But yeah,
hey, just ask Mosley for Darren Woodson's number. Let's get him on.
Oh, no, I don't know that I can give you that. By the way,
well,
does the guy Joe who works in this building, who does a great job with facilities, not look like Ed Werder? You know what I'm talking about, Zach?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I know who you're talking about.
I don't. Which one are we talking about? Okay. So you're giving Ed some grace. Okay. Super Bowl is upon us. I'm really excited. I got a basketball game to take care of this weekend first, which I'm so stoked about. Colorado and Houston. I love Kelvin Sampson. Yesterday, I listened to Kelvin Sampson getting ready for these games because you just listen to, if you can, I'll say this to any broadcaster that's younger. We're so lucky with all the media platforms out now. Like, if you're preparing for a game, even high school, minor league, you can always Google search on the podcast in Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast from, like that coach or that team. And there's a ton of stuff that comes up. Now, some of it you have to be careful. You have to parse through the information because you could get like a podcast that is not necessarily spot on with the facts. But when you can get to a coach's show like Kelvin Sampson, I mean, he literally just talks. He loves, you could tell these guys love sometimes having a forum. And Kelvin Sampson at this phase in his career, it's just like coaches' stories the whole time as they pertain to the team now. Like yesterday, he'll just say stuff like, you know, the first thing about playing defense is you got to get into a stance. But we're not trying to make risotto here, all right? And then he said another thing. They were down early against Oklahoma State on Tuesday night, and he said, "Yeah, I had one player. I'm not going to say who he is, but he was. I call him Cancun, and there's another player who I call Puerto Vallarta because they like to go on vacation during games." He was like, I told the one kid. He was Cancooning, and if you go to practice, when I was an intern in public relations at USA Basketball, he was coaching the college team, and I was like running around practice, like doing whatever people needed me to do. We were at the Nets practice facility, and he was talking to one kid, and this was a team where like Adam Morrison was on, Charlie Villanueva, Curtis Sumter from Villanova, and he was yelling at some guy. He goes, "That's like a fart in a skillet." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "You know what a fart in a skillet is?" He goes, "Nothing smells worse than a fart in a skillet. It's like hot garbage." So I'm looking forward to being able to check him out and hearing some of his wisdom. And I love the way he mentors his players. After that, we get into the Super Bowl, right? And I cannot wait for that. And talking about the Super Bowl, I did that little crossover we do here on Rogue Media Network with Zach Owen and the Zach Owen Show. And he touched on something that I don't think I've ever shared on this show. And I'm just going to tell the full story because it's a lot of fun. So prop bets coming up this weekend. It starts off with the national anthem usually. I mean, there's other stuff that's like crazy, right? It's like what color hat will, the trainer for the Chiefs have on when he comes off the bus. But it really starts for most of us with the national anthem. And I heard, this is like 4 years ago, I was like listening to Brent Musburger on a podcast, and he was breaking down prop bets. And this is probably 2018. I'm listening to this podcast. And Brent was doing the prop bets with whoever show he was guesting on. And he said, the one bet you can make a sure thing, and they actually won't let you put too much money on it because they understand it's going to be a sure thing, is a national anthem. And I was like, wow, what's he going to get into here? And he said, the Super Bowl is such a huge production that if you're a part of the network that's broadcasting the game, if you're a part of that broadcast crew, you will be inside the stadium on Saturday afternoon where they do a run through of everything that leads up to kickoff. And that includes the national anthem, which, by the way, whoever performs the national anthem, that's part of their deal. They have to show up at that run through. And they almost practice their national anthem, maybe for them, it's like a sound check. I'm sure probably a lot of artists like to do it. So I remember thinking, and Musburger said, if you're in that stadium, you can clock that practice of the rendition of the national anthem, and it'll pretty much be spot on to the next day. And I was like, no way. So then a year later, I thought, well, a good buddy of mine was actually working on the crew, the broadcast crew that was going to be in the stadium. And, my big brother, Kevin, who has since passed, died of cancer, but like he was a hero of mine. And when you're a little brother, it's really tough to get a seat at the table to get like any kind of respect or whatever. I was always like, getting the backhand. I was a little brother. But we're out in California to watch the Super Bowl like my brothers and I did every year. And we're going over prop bets. God bless my brother, Kevin. He died sober, a great man. Touched a lot of lives. He was a gambling degenerate. Okay. So he loved to gamble. Every Sunday, him and his buddy Charlie would get on the phone and go over bets. They'd be screaming. I mean, Kev bet on just about every NFL game for 15 years. Okay. So I had this information. I checked in with my guy at Fox. I was like, yo, what happened with the national anthem? And it was Demi Lovato. And he was like, he told me exactly the time it was. And then I told Kevin, I was like, look, I got a sure thing, dude. I was like, this is, and he was like, really? And I explained to him how I had it. And he put a lot of money, as much as he could have, on the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, I'm sorry, on Demi Lovato and her national anthem. And by the way, how amazing did she look? We're getting a look at her right now. I mean, that was part of the entertainment value there. But we nailed it. My brother turned and gave me $100 right away. He said that was my finder's fee. And that's a real thing. So there's your little insight as far as betting on the Super Bowl goes. If you know somebody that's in the stadium for that walkthrough, which you might, you can lock that one up. The only problem is they'll only let you go so high, I think, on some of these prop bets. More on the Super Bowl to come. I see our guy, Coach Steckel, is in the bullpen right now. So we're going to come out. We're going to break down the Super Bowl. The Pete Sousa Show, presented by Slovacics and Crawford Austin Properties, rolls on after this with Coach Steck. We're taking a look at the Super Bowl and breaking it down.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. That's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. Unlock your full potential with Onnit, your go-to for premium supplements, fitness gear, and wellness essentials. Whether you're training hard, recovering faster, or just looking to feel your best, Onnit has the tools you need to perform at your peak. Visit Onnit, that's ONNIT.com, and elevate your mind, body, and spirit today. At Rolls Rolla, we don't just sell wallpaper, we create cohesive, cozy spaces. Our deep understanding of design means every pattern, color, and texture is carefully chosen to complement your home. Plus, we use advanced technology and water-based inks for vibrant, eco-friendly prints, ensuring a healthier environment. Visit rollsrolla.com to transform your space today. That's ROLLSROLLA.com today. At Toussaint's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Toussaint's.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
Calling all Marvel fans, get Marvel Unlimited and unlock over 30,000 comics featuring your favorite heroes and iconic stories, all available to read anytime, anywhere. Whether you're into classic tales or the latest adventures, there's something for everyone. Don't miss out. Head to marvel.com/unlimited today and start your Marvel journey now.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
There he is, the coach.
How you doing, my friend?
Oh, man, you look great. Coach, what's happening?
I'm living the dream, man. Just got back from the Virgin Islands, went over to St. John's with my bride and acted like I was important doing nothing and just watching a lot of football. How you doing?
You look great, man.
Thank you. Thank
so
you.
You're out of Florida now. You're back home. Wherever you go, whether it's St. John's, whether it's Middle America, whether it's Paris, I know you're always thinking football, and no better time to jump into it than on the cusp of the Super Bowl. I want to get into some of your defensive knowledge here. I'm reading a book about Bill Belichick, and it talks about the amazing game plan he put together before that first Super Bowl when they beat the St. Louis Rams, right, in New Orleans when they were huge underdogs. Now, my little different situation here, right? Philadelphia is a great team. It's a 1-point spread. But there's work cut out for him, for Vic Fangio, to stop this Kansas City offense. How would you try to stop him, Steck?
Well, personally, when you look at Kansas City, they're phenomenal. You gotta figure out and somehow get into the brain of Andy Reid, which is really hard to do. I mean, the guy is incredibly creative. He's very sound. He takes a lot of input from his players. But in my opinion, trying to stop the Kansas City Chiefs, number one, when you get to it, they got to protect the football, the Chiefs, okay? And more importantly, they got to protect Mahomes, okay? They got to really keep him upright because sometimes he gets some shots. And then the other thing, if I'm Vic Fangio, because they're going to get their shots and all those things, they've got to stop the running game against the Chiefs. Chiefs running game is not as potent, obviously, as the Eagles, but they got those two good backs with how you say his name, Pacho and Hunt. You know, Pacheco. Yeah, that's the guy, Isaiah Pacheco. There you go. They're very good running backs, but I don't think their run game is as explosive as the Eagles. You know, so you got to protect Mahomes. You got to get a running game going. And the other thing that I think Vic Fangio really has to do and have his players on point with is the motions. Andy Reid is going to motion you to death. He's going to trade you, shift you, motion you, and he's going to get people going all over the place. And there's got to be great sound communication on the back end to alert with those passing games. That's one thing I think Coach Fangio really has to do, and especially when they get down in the red zone.
Yeah, Stack, for people who don't know, because I see that too, and, you know, knowing a little bit about football, I kind of understand, but the motions – what does that do to a defense when you're Patrick Mahomes and then you see Kelsey in motion prior to a play? What's that do to the defenders? How are they supposed to react to that?
Well, it probably is based on coverage, and it's a very complex answer to your question, Pete. However, the simplicity is, first of all, it kind of gives a first alert of, number one, are the linebackers bumping with the motion? Are the safeties spinning with the motion? Or are the corners running with the motion? So it kind of gives a first indicator of, are you in man or are you in zone? So that's number one. Number two is when you see people, which I think they did it against the Eagles a couple years ago, I think they used it again last year in the red zone. When you see someone in motion, especially in a 3-by-1 set, and coming from the 3-by-1 side, from the 3-man side, they start motioning and you see a guy running. Right when they get into that bunch set, they snap the ball and the receiver comes back out the back door. Well, now it's got automatic pick. And you got to watch the defender's hips. When the defender hips turn to start running with him, he's not perpendicular to the line of scrimmage anymore. There's a big word for me anyway, perpendicular. And that's when Mahomes snaps the football, because that defender's got to do a 180 when the wide receiver can just get out into the flat. So there's a complex answer to your question, but I think the first indicators are we in man and zone. Second one is the safety spinning to take that guy, which would create an advantage to the defense with the angles. And then if they're running with the receiver, now you're creating angles and an advantage to the offense. So I think all that stuff takes place in a quick, short motion situation, and Mahomes is pretty good at analyzing, dissecting, and knowing what he's going to get.
You know, the game has evolved so much, and you talked about Mahomes being able to deduce and make quick decisions, right? But like back in the day, I don't want to say back, but we used to be able to stop these guys a lot more often to kind of rattle them, right? Get them off their mark. It's different now. How much harder is that for coaches to scheme against? And this kind of leads into are the Chiefs getting a lot of calls and blah, blah, blah. But how is there something specific you say to your team like, hey, we want to hit him and get him off his mark, but we don't want to draw any penalties here? It's different now.
It's different. You know, I was an advocate when the rules started changing a long time ago that we probably should put skirts on the quarterbacks, you know, and make sure that they don't get hit or touch too much. I think that's part of it. I think a lot of the rules have swayed to the offensive side of the ball, not being a defensive prejudice person. But I think it's because fans, you know, you see a game and the final score is 13-10. You know, what do all your friends say? Oh, that's a boring game. Hell no. That's a heck of a game. Defensively structured, how they defended each other, how they attacked each other, how they blitzed each other, how they played their man-to-man in the checker game. What's wrong with 13-10, you know? But what I think what people want, they want the points. They want the touchdowns. They want the explosives. And I understand that from that side of the fence. As far as the Chiefs getting calls, I don't believe it to be true. If you really study the whole season, it comes out 50-50. And in fact, this season, probably not the number, but they've been penalized more yards. They were like 4th in the league or 5th in the league with penalized yards. So I think it's a myth. I think it's a ghost people want to chase because they're tired of Kansas City being there, dude. You know how it is when guys keep coming back. We got to watch the Chiefs again, you know? let's revel in the excitement that the Chiefs are going back there again, and they're on the brink of doing something no one's ever done. Now, the key, though, is when he does get off his mark and he scrambles, the one thing that you see, which infuriates me as a defensive coach, is people use different terms. But if you're in a zone situation or if you're in a man situation, you have got to, when you're in zone and he starts scrambling, you must turn it into man to man. You know, I used to call it match. Some defensive guys call it plaster. Some people call it glue. But when there's a receiver in your area and he starts scrambling, you immediately must go to man on that guy because he's going to find holes. You have to turn it into man to man. And the other thing that makes me furious, Pete, is when you turn it into man to man, you got to look at your man. Okay? I used to tell my players all the time, if you see the quarterback throw the ball in man, if you see him throw the ball, you're going to see the receiver catch the ball. Okay? And they looked at me like I was crazy. But when they look back, you don't see the receiver. And that's your man. You know? You're doing basketball games right now. Okay? Well, in basketball, who you covering your man. You're watching your man. Your eyes are on your man. Same concept for football. So I think it's a plethora of different things. And at the same time, you got to have some defensive linemen that can go hunt down that quarterback. And, you know, I know this. Mahomes is a tough guy because me personally, those D tackles for the Eagles, Davis and Carter, I see that 320-pound man running 4.65 after me. I'd be panicking, man.
How about the other side? I know you recruited Saquon. You've got a feel for him. This guy's got 20 touchdowns. I think their average, it's like 32 yards an average for a score. That is a ridiculous stat. We're going back now. As much as the quarterback thing has changed, we're moving back to like the running back now, which I like, being more of a featured option, almost more of a prolific part of the offense. How do you stop Saquon on the other side of that if you're Steve Spagnuolo?
Well, personally, if I'm Spags, and I love Spags, Spags and I go way back when I was at Dickinson College and he was at New Haven. I mean, people probably don't even know where those schools are and stuff. But
I do.
You do. That's right. There you go. You get those Philly roots.
Yeah.
Well, here's the number one thing about Saquon, okay, is he's explosive. I did recruit. He's from my high school. He went to Whitehall High School in Pennsylvania. And he's just Bobby Hartman, the AD there, calls me out of left field one day and says, Stack, I think we got this player, but he only got an offer from Rutgers. So he sent me out the tape, and I went, huh? Only Rutgers? So I flew in and started recruiting him. And my man, James Franklin, who I love, so I say this in jest, you know, he goes from Vanderbilt and goes to Penn State. And then Saquon calls and says, Coach, I'm going to visit Penn State this weekend, but I'm going to come out and visit you next weekend. I said, no, you're not. You know, James is a great recruiter. He's a Pennsylvania kid, and I'm so happy for Saquon. The one thing that people don't understand about Saquon Barkley is, A, he's competitive. They know all those other things. But do you realize that Saquon, in his career, has over 2,300 receiving yards, and he has 14 touchdown passes? I mean, yes, he can run the ball, but he's got great hands. He's got great receiving skills. And you saw in that last picture, that young man locks that ball away high and tight. You see that big-ass bicep covering that football and stuff. So I don't know if you can stop Saquon. What you have to make sure you do is don't lose sight of all the other receivers and all the other weapons that they do have with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Godson. No, not Godson. How do you pronounce his name? Goddard. Yeah, I don't like pronouncing his name because when I was at Missouri State, he was at South Dakota State University. Yeah, and he spanked my ass there. But anyway, that's a horse of another color. So Saquon, he's the real deal. He deserves everything he's got. And let me go on my high horse while I'm on this, okay? How the NFL pays all these receivers all this freaking money who touch the ball 8-10 times a game, and they're good. I'm not doubting that. But now you got a guy like Saquon who's carrying the ball 24 times a game. He's catching the ball 6 to 10 times a game. He's making an impact on the game, and you're going to only pay him $13 million, which is a lot of money. Don't mind you. and the receiver who's going to touch the ball 8 times is going to get 35 million. Who changed that horse? I mean, I don't get it. So I hope these running backs get their dues and get their pay because their life expectancy isn't as long. They get hit more. They got to pass protect. They got to run. They got to catch. They got to do all these things. So I'm off my high horse of paying running backs.
From a league perspective, how is this? Is it? I guess I should ask you. Is it starting to shift back to what you're talking about? Right, running backs paid more money than anybody else on the team, or among the most on the team. Like it seems like that now.
No, I don't think so. I think meow meow, the cat's out of the bag. It's not going backwards. Guys aren't going to be making X amount of dollars and all of a sudden say, well, this guy's making that. This guy's making that. I'm not going back for that. I think the cat's out of the bag. And I think maybe what might happen is some of the salaries might level off. And then with the new salary caps and the more money, they might start paying more running backs. I'm not sure. But I'm glad I don't have to worry about that. But I never thought that was realistic. How's that going off on a tangent?
I love it. How about I want to get your thoughts on a couple history things and some of the coaching hires. I won't take too much more of your time, but who do you got in the game? Breaking it down, you looked at it. Who do you think when the dust settles should come out on top? Once the ball starts bouncing, and the bullets start flying, it gets crazy. But right now, looking at it on paper.
It does. And I'm not going to answer your question. I'm going to tell you why, okay? Because I got 2 very good friends that are coaching over at the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Hill, who's the assistant special teams coach, and I were together for 15 years. And I don't know if I can go back to the state of Missouri if I pick against the Chiefs. On the flip side of it, Saquon and I went to the same high school, Whitehall, Pennsylvania. And if I don't pick the Eagles, those boys from Whitehall, I might not ever be allowed back in town. And they might try to find me here in Florida and blow up my house or something. So to pick the game is a hard one for me. I'd love for Saquon to get the ring. I'd love for Andy Hill to get the three-peat. But if you have to look at it, what everybody talks about is going to come down to 2 things. One is the turnover margin. So it's going to be very curious to see who can protect the football. And that's old cliche. I know that. I understand that. But if you remember 2 years ago when they played the Eagles, that's what cost the game was 2 turnovers. And number 2, I don't know, Dave Tobe and Andy Hill, the special teams coaches for the Chiefs, they got some up their sleeve. They're sound. They're good. They're creative. So I'd give the edge to the special teams there. So I want to see a really good game. I want to see a 24-23 game.
Did you and I talk at all about Joe Cullen?
Joey Cullen. I love Joey. He's the other guy I meant. I was Joey Cullen. We did talk about him way back in the day, you and I. And Joey, that's the other guy I know on the staff. And Joe's a super, super defensive line coach. And, he gets his players every year at a top performance. I mean, he took a kid, okay? And I'm not great with names, all right? But I'm going to look his name up here real quick as we're talking. Tershawn Wharton.
Yeah.
He came out of Missouri S&T, okay? That school is like a Division II school in the state of Missouri, and he has made him a huge impact for that Chiefs team along with Chris Jones as the defensive tackle. Joey Cullen is one of the best defensive line coaches in the National Football League.
Special guy. All right, I want to talk to you a little bit about history. If the Chiefs win this game, where do you rank Patrick Mahomes, or is he one of the best all time? I know you're probably not into the rankings, but what does it do for his legacy?
I'm not into the rankings, and it does nothing for his legacy right now because he's still going. Legacy's after it's all said and done. What he's doing and how many Super Bowl he's got to, he's going to be in the GOAT conversation. And I think the world of him. I think he's got great vision. I think he got great talent. I think he's so darn intelligent when he's out there on the football field. He's a Texas Tech guy. He comes from an athletic family. But he doesn't have 7 rings, Pete.
Yeah.
And everybody talks about you can't change the storyline. People change the storyline in the middle of the storyline. You talk to NFL guys, it's all about the rings. I want a ring. I want a ring. Saquon said, and I'm paraphrasing, this is all well and good, but that's not the end goal. The end goal is to win a Super Bowl and get a ring. Tom Brady has 7 of them. When he gets to 7, I will stamp his head as a GOAT. But I think he's in a short class. I mean, He's passing some of these other guys with, you know, you got to help me out with it. I want to say 5 out of 7 years going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Won 3 of them, can be on a three-peat. He actually definitely stands out there, and someday when he's going to be done playing, he's going to be legendary status. But he's got to get a couple more rings for me to go, not to let him pass Tom Brady.
One more for you before I let you go, because we got a lot of folks. Obviously, we're in Central Texas. A lot of folks, Cowboys people. Give folks here some good news about Brian Schottenheimer, or can you? Like, as far as people were, I think Cowboys were looking for a splashy hire. You hire Brian Schottenheimer. I think it's actually pretty good, because you look at who he hired, your buddy as a defensive coordinator. I mean, that's great. I think that Eberflus hire is terrific for the Cowboys. I really feel like they're going to be better than people think, and so is Schottenheimer. What are your thoughts, or anything you have on him?
I have no thoughts, and I would speak out of school. I do not know Brian Schottenheimer. I obviously know of his pops, you know, so that's a plus to me, because when you're a coach's kid and you're around it all the time, you pick things up. I think it's probably a good hire for Dak Prescott, because he was the quarterback coach. They still have the same chemistry. They still have the same mojo going. So I really like that. In regards to your comment of hiring Eber, Matt Eberflus is one hell of a defensive coach. And I know how things went shaky in Chicago and all that stuff. However, you know, players still play the game, and coaches still are responsible no matter what happens, you know? Like, for example, I think about Hail Mary pass. They talked about it the other day on the NFL awards or something like that, you know? Well, Eber gets the blame, but that kid was over there rousing up the stands. Remember that? He's going over, hoo-ha, and they snap the ball. He runs, oh, hell, I got to go do my job.
Yeah.
So a coach gets too much credit and not enough credit. Matt Eberflus is one heck of a defensive coach, and he will have those kids playing. He's sound. He's fundamentally sound. He's scheme sound. And he's a really intelligent man and can really break things down. So I think it's a great hire. I hope the Cowboys are turning the corner for better things, since you are in Texas. But I got to show you, I don't know if you can see it on there. I wore my Raiders shirt just for you, because I know you're a Raiders fan. So I wore my Raiders shirt just for Pete.
Eagles first. Well, you got some skin in the game there, right? Come on.
I do. My nephew's at the Raiders, and he's a great tight end coach in the National Football League, and I'm really proud of him.
Well, hey, thank you so much. And I want people to know there's a book out there called The Fisherman, and it's called Traits to Win at the Game of Life, and it is by this gentleman you're looking at right here, Dave Steckel. You can get it on Amazon, and it's a hell of a book that you put together for people to come and lead, and it's also a lot of life lessons. So I want to throw that out there. If, it's available on Amazon, right?
It is. You can get it on Amazon, and I really appreciate you throwing out that The Fisherman, Leadership Traits to Win the Game of Life. And I kind of wrote it for football players because it's only 88 pages, but it's packed with simple truths to life that I think any person who wants to lead, whether you are a coach, whether you're a CEO, okay, or whether you're a parent, I think there's things in there that can help you and help your children as they go in through sports and move on to life.
Give us a freebie. What's the number one lesson in there that jumps out that you like to share with people?
The number one lesson, I think, as you go through life, you have to be fair, you have to be consistent, and you have to be demanding. And not only on the people that you're leading, but more importantly on yourself.
I remember you helped me out when we got those boards, and I said, hey, coach, like they screwed up a player on this, that service that we get for the football games that help us with our kids. I go, I'm not going to say anything. You better say something. I was like, all right.
Because you know what I learned when I was in the Marine Corps, and I learned a long time ago that a great leader never walks past a mistake. Because as soon as you walk past a mistake, the standard just got lower.
I love it. Coach Steck, appreciate it, man. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I hopefully we can do this again soon, and hopefully I'll be seeing you in the fall, brother.
I hope so. Very humbled and honored, Pete. You're a good man, and I'm excited. Can't you tell? I'm ready to go. The only thing bad about the Super Bowl, it's the last game.
I know.
You know, it's the last game. So then you got to get in there, and I'm gonna go cheer for the Battle Hawks, my man Anthony Beck.
There you go. There you go.
There we go, baby.
All right, Coach. Take it easy.
All right. Thank you very much, and enjoy the game, man.
You got it. See you, Steck. Coach Dave Steckel, one of the all-time good guys in the game. He, by the way, Scotty, was part of those. Do you remember those Missouri teams? I mean, him and Gary Pinkel, they were beating the hell out of people, and they were always like a play away from a national championship opportunity.
And he was on the I think underappreciated side of those Missouri teams, because we all talk about Brad Smith or Chase Daniel, you know, those guys, but those defenses were
amazing,
lights out. Yeah,
a lot of guys.
I remember that's one of the. I was. I don't want to say how young I was at that point. I was still pretty young at that point. I was still a kid in many ways, literally. But those are some of the first football teams I do remember watching and really just being amazed by.
All right, we had Dave Steckel there. We're going to come back. We're going to find out what Brian Bosworth thinks about the Super Bowl. He's got some strong opinions. The Pete Sousa Show continues after this on the Rogue Media Network.
Are you ready to take control of your health? At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. Say goodbye to long waits and office visits. Check your health on your own terms with 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today and free yourself from traditional medicine. That's the number 4uhealth.com. Get ready for epic savings at Best Buy. Right now, you can save up to $700 on select Alienware and Dell gaming products. Perfect for leveling up your gaming experience. Plus, grab the latest Android Google Pixel at an unbeatable price. Don't miss these incredible deals. Shop now at bestbuy.com and upgrade your tech today. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Our research-backed bioavailable formulas are crafted with your health in mind, ensuring the highest quality and safety. From preconception to pregnancy and beyond, we exceed industry standards with independent testing for harmful contaminants. With our comprehensive practitioner directory, personalized care is always within reach. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com.
Have you ever watched true crime television and wondered, how did they get that story?
I can show you. I was a producer for 48 Hours on CBS News.
In my exclusive tell-all book, I'll take you where no audience has ever gone before. Don't miss out. Secure your copy of Killer Story, The Truth Behind True Crime Television today. Available everywhere books are sold.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. We use the finest materials like Italian top-grain leather, known for its durability and luxurious feel, and apply meticulous attention to detail in every piece we create. Our replicas are crafted with the same care and precision as the originals, but a price that makes them accessible. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. Using advanced tech fabrics that are 100% waterproof, UV tear, and abrasion resistant, we ensure lasting durability with hand-sewn double-stitch seams. Our commitment to quality, precision engineering, and customizable options is unmatched. With vertically integrated operations and express shipping, we deliver premier protection at affordable prices. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
We haven't been looking for you. Wake up.
Hellhound Country, available anywhere you get your podcasts. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
All right, the Pete Sousa Show returns. How great was Coach Stack? That's like, I was talking a little bit earlier today about Kelvin Sampson and how much I enjoy just being around coaches. That was like, honestly, I think you guys love that, and folks who haven't listened yet, when it goes up, or they can go back and listen, they'll love it too. I know that was kind of selfish. I love that. Just kind of getting a breakdown, and I like what he said about Tom Brady in the rings. Scotty Swingler, you have thoughts on as far as historic and legacy where Bill Parcells ends up and Andy Reid ends up.
Oh, Belichick.
Yeah. Give me your take about Andy Reid possibly being one of the best
so
coaches ever.
I mentioned to you on a break. I think back when First Take was first getting started, there was frequently a conversation this time of year of who to credit more for the success of the Patriots, Belichick or Brady. And we all know it's both of them. They're both brilliant. They're both all-timers. But I find it so compelling that Brady went to another team, won another ring. Belichick, and I would love to get Cam Stewart's take on this, actually. Belichick has a losing record without Tom Brady. Has a losing record without him. Meanwhile, Andy Reid didn't win a Super Bowl before Patrick Mahomes, but he did get the Eagles to a Super Bowl.
And it seemed like he went to an
several
NFC
championships.
every year.
Yes, and I believe has a outstanding winning record.
And he actually
without
moved
Pat
Eagles
Mahomes.
ownership to talk about their football operations as the gold standard.
Right.
That's what Jeffrey Lurie, because the Eagles were so good every year.
Yeah. And so I think
you didn't see that in Cleveland with Belichick.
No. And in New England when Brady left.
Yeah.
What did they do when Brady left? They declined. And Belichick's a Hall of Fame coach, but I would argue if this three-peat happens, most of the conversation is going to be about Patrick Mahomes. I think you have to say Andy Reid has a really, really, really strong resume to be the best head football coach of all time.
I think there's a lot of merit to that. I kind of like that argument.
Yeah.
And I'll say this too, not to go too down this road with Belichick, but I think he could be in for a disturbing awakening coming up this year. I think that they could go.
We're gonna find out
5 or something.
We're gonna find out real quick.
Yeah, or maybe worse. And
folks, I think too many folks think that coaching college and the NFL are similar, and they're totally not. I mean, how many guys we've seen try to jump the other way, college NFL, and totally bomb?
We talked about that a little bit yesterday.
Totally
with
bomb.
Deion. I think Deion made a brilliant move. Maybe it wasn't his move per se, but staying in college.
Yeah, it's working for him.
Yeah, you have more control.
And people in Waco are all too familiar with Matt Rule's, failure in Carolina, and Nick Saban, and
Do you think Matt Rule's like a used car salesman?
I
love it.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that. He reminded me of the gruff football version of Scott Drew, where he's almost kind of a preacher.
Yeah.
Like he'll get up on the microphone and be like, "Man, here's what we need to do. We gotta play in the trenches. We gotta win in the trenches first. Football's all about the trenches. And then we gotta control what we can control. We're gonna play hard down the stretch. You gotta rise up and fight in the fourth quarter. We're gonna do Oklahoma drills before the game because we're tough."
Now, I'll tell you, that was very good, by the way. I'll tell you that I think that Scott Drew is way more authentic than
me too.
Than Matt Rule.
10,000%.
Yeah.
Do not disagree.
That's who Scott Drew is. I'm not sure about Matt Rule.
I totally
and
agree
you can
with
always go in, and I don't care what anybody says. I'll dip back into this all day long. You can go back into Coach Drew's faith. Like, that's real. That's who he is.
Totally.
There's no.
And Matt Rule's a preacher's kid.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I mean, I think I'm not gonna say a guy's faith isn't real, but when you talk about someone in front of a camera, who are they versus behind the scenes?
Yeah.
I cannot disagree with you about Scott Drew versus Matt Rule.
All right, as we wrap up, I want to go one more Bosworth thing. Brian Bosworth, a guest on today's show, sort of. A guest on yesterday's show, sort of. He could be a guest every day for the rest of eternity. But the Boz had this to say about the Super Bowl, and it's interesting because it was I appreciated what Coach Steckel had to say. Like, I'm all about soaking it up, the Chiefs' greatness. Now, I have to unsubscribe to that theory on Sunday just because I want my Eagles to win. But let's hear what the Boz had to say yesterday. This is part of his unbelievable 7-minute birthday message to me that was, to be honest, paid for by my lovely girlfriend. But let's check it out.
I don't know how you feel about your upcoming team. I don't know if you're an Eagles fan, but you guys have made it back. Please, for the love of God, please beat the Chiefs. I'm tired of watching everybody handhold and pick up and dance with Mahomes and his skirt and his high heels and all that bullshit that the NFL puts up with. Flag this, don't touch him here, you can't hit him there, don't breathe on him, it's a flag. And if I see one more shot of Taylor Swift, I'm going to vomit. I can't stand it. I'm done. I think the whole country's done. Like Biden, we're done. Get done. Let's move on. And same with her boyfriend, Kelsey, enough. Just play the game. What's up with all this showmanship? And of course, the guy coming from me is Mr. Show. But yeah, we played back in the day when it was hard hitting and we targeted people. Can I have a moment, please? It's not about you right now. It's not.
I would urge anybody, by the way, really, to go check out some Boz highlights. He used to obliterate dudes. Short period of time, obviously. Played. Had a limited NFL career, which, by the way, he led the Seahawks in tackles like his first 2 years, but his shoulders just couldn't hold up. And yeah, he ended up retiring. And that was kind of a crazy rant, a sliver out of a very sane, awesome message overall. He just kind of went fanatic on us right there, which I appreciated. But I don't see that. By the way, we know Boz's politics now, which is great. no lie there, but we get to see his politics, which I appreciated. By the way, I will say this. I'll talk a little bit of politics. I can't believe the Democrats. I mean, I can't believe that they have to be sitting there. And I have some friends who are Democrats. And again, I swear I'm moderate. I'm down the middle. But I was checking out Twitter and some people who I feel like are safe follows, and they're Democrats because I don't live in a silo. I like to hear what everybody has to say. And they were like, how in the world our party could let Trump end up with that amazing photo op yesterday with all the women, like with he looks like such a hero, but they made it so easy for him. Like, I don't think like 90% of America, I think I read yesterday, nobody wants women or guys playing women's sports. Like, it's just, it's in the weeds. It's a weird thing, but I think we can mostly agree, like, nobody really wants that. But somehow we got to a point in America where like the party that was running the show was like vocally for, I don't know. I don't want to get into too much trouble, but all I know is yesterday with Donald Trump sitting there looking like Santa Claus, I was like, something's kind of wrong with this picture, right? Something like, and he's loving it with that shit-eating grin. It's like, I was like, how the hell did we get here? But we got there. Scotty, any thoughts on that?
Just reminded me of him campaigning last year when he's like, I will be the hero to all the women, or whatever he said. He said something like, I will be the protector. That's what he said, protector. He's like, I will be the protector of all the women. And then yesterday, he's like, here I am protecting all the women, just like I told you I would.
I know, like it is. Look, and I'm not. It's just a ready-made Saturday Night Live.
It's just too easy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's wild.
And
of course, our president will be at the Super Bowl, which will of course be interesting. But yeah, it's just there's a lot of stuff to talk about out there, and some stuff I'm better versed on than others, clearly. But yeah, we thanks to Coach Steckel joining us today. Of course, thanks to Brian Bosworth, Scotty Swingler, Zach Burke had a hand in it. Mike Hamilton came in here.
Hey,
Mike,
before we sign off,
Mike's
Pete,
having a rough day. Go ahead.
why don't you give everybody your official Super Bowl prediction?
Oh, I think the Eagles are going to win 24-17. And I don't do predictions, but you asked.
I did.
Yeah.
I was curious.
I try to take the Darby Brown rule. Did you ever see the Darby Brown rule? She was doing it was hilarious. It was Baylor's opening game, and she was down. They do the pregame show with 365. And Smokey's talking to her. She's that live. He's like, Darby, give us your prediction on today's game. How about a prediction? And she's like, well, Smokey, I don't make predictions. I was like, wow, live on TV. She just shot Smoke down. So, and I told Darby from that point
Darby's
forward,
so cool.
She's so cool. I mean, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with Darby Brent. I'm not making predictions anymore. But this is
24-17.
24-17. How about you?
There's no way the Chiefs only score 17 points in this game. That's the crazy. Picking the Eagles to win is not crazy. I think 24-17 sounds crazy to me. I think I'm going to say Chiefs 31-30.
Okay.
I think it's Mahomes at the end that does it. I do. I'm being a little romantic about it.
Yeah, no,
but I think he gets the ball back to win the game and wins the game.
He's so good. And
he's so good, and he's so good in the fourth.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel pressure. He has ice in his veins.
What was that stat you had about him in the white unis?
Oh, he's 3-0 in the playoffs when wearing white. And has like incredible passer rating.
Any of the fourth quarter stats you remember?
I don't remember.
They were it was mind blowing.
You know, his fourth quarter stats. I sent him to Cam when I was talking about GOAT stuff. Like,
forget Cam.
When he gets the ball, it's something like when he gets the ball with a chance to tie or win in the fourth quarter or overtime in a playoff game, I think he's 13 of 14.
Okay.
I think 13 out of 14 times he has successfully taken his team to score.
That is mind-boggling.
He does not feel the pressure, man.
I'll tell you who. Speaking of Cam, what about him yesterday? Hot footing it downstairs to get like a brand new jersey and come. I mean, like Cam was. Can you just see him in his apartment in Chicago, like running downstairs, like getting his new little gift, unboxing it on the air with Zach. He was so happy. It's way better when Cam's pissed. By the way, I like angry Cam way better than like happy-go-lucky Cam. He was so excited. He's like, "Oh, it's nice," and he was given. And he has a whole take on like how you order from Fanatics. He should actually just make his show an unboxing a jersey show, because I have got. By the way, Bosworth, I'm on my second Seahawks jersey because the first one I ordered was like the kind of shit my mom gets from Amazon that looks like you put it on, you look like the San Jose Shark. I'm like, I didn't order this, so I got one, so I had to get another Bosworth jersey from the Seahawks or Seahawks jersey. Do you ever order jerseys online, or are you like a normal
rare occasion? Yeah.
Good for you.
But I will tell you, the last two I ordered were I ordered 2 Jesus Ferreira FC Dallas kits, and then I ordered a Luka Doncic one. And now both of those dudes in the last month have been traded. So
do me a favor.
I'll tell you the other one.
Don't get a Saquon Barkley jersey.
I'll tell you the only Dallas Cowboys jersey I bought as an adult was after we signed Jalen Smith to his huge extension. And then like a year later, he was off the team. So I have a terrible streak of buying professional sports jerseys, and they're only good for like a year.
I'll tell you who if I was a Cowboys fan right now, the jersey I would get, and this could be a whole segment. Whose jersey would you get? But God, the dude from Texas who's Overshown. He is so good, dude. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, let's hope he comes back from his injury.
Yeah, I hope that dude stays healthy because he's amazing.
Me too.
All right, we'll see you on Monday. Everybody enjoy the game. Pete Sousa Show presented by Slovakics. We're done.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning. So we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me, and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today. We are Rogue Media Sports.